Hey there, ghouls and ghosts. Welcome to Seven Scorpion Tarot. I am your host with the most, and I want to welcome you to today's reading. So, today, Mercury is moving from Libra to Scorpio, and Lilith, Black Moon Lilith, remains in Libra. So, when I think about those heavy placements in Libra, what comes to my mind are the scales of justice, or Mayet. You might also see her name spelled out as Ma'at, M-A apostrophe A-T. That's going to be the more frequent pronunciation that I've seen is Ma'at. I just for some reason prefer Mayet. There's no really particular reason for that. Part of me believes that all of us might be pronouncing these names incorrectly. But I thought it might be a good topic for today to talk a little bit about the weighing of the heart and the Eye of Ra, or Sekhmet, and those themes of justice, and particularly justice and death. So very, very Egyptian. So we'll have a little bit of tea time. We'll talk about these myths, and then we'll get into today's reading. So I have notes to try and keep my thoughts on track a little bit. So, what should we talk about first? Let's talk about the Eye of Ra, or Sekhmet. So, one of the myths regarding Ra, he was displeased with mankind, and the choice that he had made was to tear out his eye and cast it to the earth. And that eye became Sekhmet. And when she reached the earth, she went on a pretty intense campaign of unaliving a lot of people. And that was in retribution for what Ra saw as the folly of man. He saw man as sinful, as ungrateful, and in turn took a violent tact to teaching us a lesson, but quickly became overwhelmed with regret and left out a mug of beer that had been dyed red to mimic blood so that Sekhmet would drink it. And she did, and became drunk where she could be pacified. And in that slumber, she became her benevolent form, Hathor. And I think that's a really interesting theme within Libra. Um, Mercury is the Roman name for Hermes, so the messenger. So Sekhmet was the messenger of Ra, the messenger of justice. And he almost immediately regretted it, even though he may have been right for being angry with mankind for what we were doing, because those feelings are in fact valid. It's the actions that were questionable. So that kind of helps us transition into the weighing of the heart's myth, or the weighing of the heart myth. If you have two hearts, I mean, they'll probably both be weighed. But so for the weighing of the hearts, as the myth goes, when you die, you go through to the Hall of Truth. You go into the Duat, and in the Hall of Truth are, I believe they're called the scales. Well, maybe not the scales of justice. It might be confusing that, but the scale where your heart is weighed against the feather of Mayet, and she is divine justice. Um, so if your heart is heavier than the feather, then there is a crocodile-headed demon, Amit, waiting beneath the scales to consume your heart, and then you experience second death, to where you go into non-existence for the rest of eternity. And if your heart is lighter than the feather, then you proceed to the field of reeds, to paradise. And the procession during the weighing of the hearts is, you make negative confessions during that. Um, I have not committed XYZ sin. Um, and these are the 42 ideals of Mayet that you proceed with negative confessions. That it's a little confusing, that the phrasing is a little bit weird. Um, so in the mortal plane, the alternative would be sort of like a positive affirmation, a positive confession. So I honor virtue, I live in truth, I relate in peace. And these rephrasings of what you can find in the Egyptian Book of the Dead, the negative confessions, these rephrasings are on kemetexperience.com. That's Kemet, Kilo Echo Mike Echo Tango experience.com. I thought those were really well written, the way they were laid out. The negative confessions are very interesting, very poetic in the way that they're written. I would certainly encourage you to check out the Egyptian Book of the Dead. Very, very interesting history there. So these all connect to Mercury moving from Libra into Scorpio. So we're moving from the sign of justice into the sign of death. So it's all wrapped up in the weighing of the hearts. So I think in our reading, something we can look for is a message of maybe justice or truth that needs to transform. Something maybe that we've held steadfast, maybe that needs to be revisited. Is it our truth? Is it a truth that we've been fed, or is it a truth that we genuinely hold? Is in those 42 ideals of Mayet, truth in regards to authenticity is one of those ideals. Um, so I think looking for that in the message, in whatever cards we happen to pull, would be an interesting take for some reflection, for some shadow work potentially. Because in addition to Mercury having been in Libra, Black Moon Lilith is still in Libra, I think till the beginning of March. And she is absolutely a bastion of authenticity. Uh, she exiled herself from paradise in order to hold her virtues, her virtue of equality, that she would be treated the same. I think that is a very impressive position to hold, something to certainly strive for, and something we could look for as well in this message. So how can I stand in that truth? Because it's easy to say, like, be your authentic self, just be yourself. Kind of problem with that is once you start doing that, people are like, oh, not like that. Like, we want you to be yourself, but not like that. So, how can you honor that in your eyes? So, let's get some cards on the table. Let's see what we've got going for us. We'll start with the significator in the middle. Going to start poking our heads into the energy, get down into the root. You see what's going on over in the shadow side, over in the ego side, how we're interacting with the external world, and we'll dig into it. We'll see what's going on. This beautiful Sunday morning, nice and cool. Hope you guys are having a good morning too. Got my little kitty companion doing some window gazing. I'm sure there's something she wants to eat out there. So let's see. These came out together, so I'm going to take them together. Interesting. Death and temperance. Wow. Balance and transformation. These are some beautiful cards. So this is the depiction of the weighing of the hearts. This looks like the representation of the soul here, and of course Anubis, who presides over the weighing of the heart, and the feather of Mayet. And the Eye of Horus at the top. And in the typical depictions in the Egyptian Book of the Dead, this is where Ammit would be hanging out, waiting to see how the scales are turning out, if she is going to have a heart to consume or not. If any of you out there have seen Moon Knight, that was a really cool depiction of Ammit. It was a really, really good show. I liked it a lot. And both of these cards came out reversed. So this energy may be presently blocked. We did just move from, Mercury did just move from Libra to Scorpio. So it's still at 0 degrees right now. So not surprising that that energy may be blocked. So what can we do to open it up? Maybe become more balanced? It's always a good idea, I think, in any case. Are you pouring into your own cup? And I'm trying to think, in the Rider-Waite deck, Archangel Michael is who is on the Temperance card. So if that's a pantheon that you might be more familiar with, maybe there's some wisdom in that for you. Is he led the charge against the rebellion of Lucifer in Revelations. I think there might be a connection there. The connection between Lucifer and Lilith, Archangel Michael. Maybe there's some more digging to do into that, maybe it's a sign to watch the show Lucifer, one of my favorite shows, definitely a comfort show for me. And it looks like on this card here, looks like the Scorpio symbol. Interesting. Let's see. Let's get further into it. Let's get into the root. I always really enjoyed uh, Tom Ellis's take on Lucifer. Such an interesting exploration into the humanity of the devil. Hey, kitten. What are you doing? I believe that that character was originally started as, it was in Neil Gaiman's Sandman, and then they expanded on that, I believe. What we got here? Is this tower? Is that what this is? Yes. Tower in reverse at the root. So a necessary change that might be blocked. This is heavy energy down the center. All major arcana. So a big, big transition. And not surprising with moving into Scorpio. Scorpio's got such heavy energy. You know, the energy of Hades, and we'll see, grab a card on the left. So the tower is often destructive change. Maybe is this change you've already gone through but haven't moved on from? I mean, we are talking about, or utilizing Egyptian cards, so spending a lot of time thinking about the past, reminiscing about the past, maybe romanticizing the past. There could be maybe a change you were sure about. There's some doubt coming from somewhere. Yeah, because we have death and balance, transformation and balance. So a change you might be unsure of. Is this the right change, the right move? Let's feel a little stuck together. There you go. Queen of Wands. So the Queen of Ideas, the Queen of Will. I want to see what keywords the author gave this. Really like the little booklet here because it's just a few words. This might be a difficult deck if you are just getting started, but I really like it. Missed it. The Lady of Science. Intense friendship, faithfulness, and cordiality. Lady of Science, the Lady of Thoth. Thoth is the ibis-headed god the scribe, also the god of language and science in Egyptian mythology. So the Lady of Science in your shadow. And wands are fire, the energy of will. Too much structure, maybe over organizing, a little bit of control over, or maybe a lot of bit of control over this change that maybe you just have to let it happen. I know how hard that is. I know. Maybe this is a moment of surrender for you. Surrender to the flow of things. It's bringing to mind it's a Buddhist concept, the uncarved block. Ooh, these came out face down, so not taking those. Put these on the right, but they popped out when I was talking about the uncarved block. So 6 of Wands in reverse, so victory. This is generally public victory. So maybe a private victory, something that's just for you, whatever this big change is. Maybe it's just for you, the people closest to you, something to be kept quiet, and not necessarily something to not be proud of. It just not everybody's business. You know what I'm saying? Tell them to bugger off. So the Knight of Wands, the knights are messengers. So a messenger of will, a messenger of an idea. Maybe the reason you might want to keep this change, whatever this is, to yourself, somebody might have some kind of idea about how you might need to handle it. And this for you, this is your transformation. This is your mayat. This is your divine justice, finding balance in the world, and your transformation. At the end of the day, you're the person that has to live with yourself. That could be a reason why you might want to keep things a little quieter, or, you know, your trusted confidants. You don't need to totally, close yourself off in secrecy. Talk to your people. I like to think of things like a target. Like in the middle, it's you, and then that first circle is the people closest to you, your ride or dies. In that second circle, it's above acquaintances, below best friends, and like so on and so forth, and blah blah blah. It ricochets out or whatever as it does. But I like to think of social interactions like that, of where do you fall in, like, my jawbreaker, in those sedimentary layers. And that kind of dictates how much information you're going to get out of me, or how much I value that person's opinion of me or of what I'm doing, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Let's grab these positions. Give you a rest. Let's see. Do the left here. This is the what is it called? Isis Oracle. Yes, Isis Oracle. It's Elena Fairchild. Really like this one. Got a lot of cool ideas for rituals, meditations, some mantras as well. And another name for her is her Kemetic name, Osset. If you're doing any kind of Googling and worried about ending up on a list. uh, it's AUSET. It's Alpha Uniform Sierra Echo Tango. And that sometimes will actually yield some interesting results that you wouldn't get on like the first page of Google for resources. If you're looking up mythology, things like that, you'll find some deeper Kemetic resources that might be a little more esoteric. I like to shuffle until one pops out on its own and let the cards speak for themselves. It's a little tough with this cardstock because it's so slick, but we'll get there. Yeah, see? Oh, power over 7 scorpions. That's me. Yay. So, power to conjure lower vibrational forces. So, the myth of Isis and the 7 scorpions is a myth of compassion. She left the protection of the other gods after Osiris had been killed by Set, and she ventured out and was gifted 7 scorpions for protection. And she happened upon a city, and the first place that she went, and she had Horus in tow because she was trying to protect him from Set shortly after he was born. So this would have been when Horus was an infant. So she happened upon a mansion in this city that she came upon, and she was in rags. She was concealed. Her identity was concealed. And the lady of the house of this mansion opened up the door, took one look at her, slammed the door. So she carried on further into the city and found a more meager home with very meager means to assist her, where she knocked on the door looking for food and shelter, where she was welcomed in warmly. And she was provided for. She was given a hay bed to sleep on, and they didn't have much to share, but they shared what they could. And one of the scorpions that was in tow with Isis didn't take all too kindly to that and went back to the mansion while Isis slept. And there was a young boy, the son of the lady of the house, that turned Isis away, and the 7th scorpion stung the boy. And the lady of the house, they woke up the next morning. The son was very, very sick. He was just getting sicker and sicker. So she took to the streets, cried out, can anybody help me? Somebody help my son, please, begging for any kind of help. where Isis heard her. And she came out and saw that this was the woman who turned her away. And she saw that through the actions of her protector, one of her scorpions, this boy was dying, and the boy was innocent. He was caught in the crosshairs in between this situation, and she made the choice to reveal her identity in the middle of the streets, and she healed the boy. And of course, the lady of the house where she was turned away fell to her knees. It was so grateful for the life of her son, uh, and Isis just moved on because she had revealed her identity, and in order to keep her and Horus safe, she had to leave. So she sacrificed her own safety for someone who turned her away in her hour of need. And as the story goes, this city became a great place of healing where they taught medicine and potions and things like that. So wonderful, wonderful story of compassion, selflessness, and the power of healing, that even though Isis was turned away when she needed it most, she gave that town the gift it needed. Because when she came upon it originally, it was a place that would turn people away. And when she left it better than she found it. She left it as a place of healing. So, something to think about, something to chew on, the Isis and the Seven Scorpions, which is what this channel is named after. So let's get another card over here on the right. So this will be in the shadow side. So that's a lot of material for the shadow side. So let's get somebody over here on the ego side to see maybe who's guiding us in our external interactions with the world. This might be somebody we want to embody. So close. That would have been way too many. I just want one. And this is, where's the book? The Egyptian Gods Oracle Cards deck. And I don't think I mentioned the name of that one at the beginning. I think it's just called the Egyptian Tarot. But this deck, these are all gods and goddesses. And I do not yet know how to read hieroglyphs, but someday. I have my little beginner's book. I'm working on it. So that's a whole new thing, trying to learn an ancient language that people don't speak. It's not available on Duolingo. I think Valerian is, though. High Valerian. These are all stuck together. Let's see. It's such beautiful artwork in this deck. Really cool. She has another oracle deck, Rumi, that I've been eyeballing. It's for another day, though. So the reason I wait for a card to pop out on its own is I'm just not trying to force it. I'm just not trying to force the message. I don't have anywhere to be. I don't know about you guys. And if you stick around on this channel long enough, you will see the depth of my love for ancient Egypt. 18th dynasty is something I really, really enjoy. Such an interesting time of history. It started out so peaceful at the beginning under the reign of Hatshepsut to become so bloody and marred uh, under the reign of the heretic king Akhenaten, and then to finish out with the hands down most famous pharaoh with the shortest reign, King Tut. Really, really cool history there. Ooh, I think that's two. Yes. All right. Anuka, hope, and Nut, understanding, the god of the sky, or goddess, as I cover her. We'll just leave her. Do I have something? Let's leave her covered. And him. So let's see what the author says. I'm not super familiar with Anuket. She is depicted as a woman with a high headdress made of reeds or ostrich feathers. More rarely, she is represented in the form of a gazelle. Being the goddess of the Nile, she is linked to its floods, which brings nourishment, fertility, and prosperity to the earth. This is where she gets her name, she who surrounds. That is, her invasion of the lands that embrace every being to bring fertility and happiness. She represents the generosity that gives rise to life. Trust in the protection of a Nuket who will guide you and bolster your courage, who gives you intensity and hope, even when renunciations and sacrifices arise. Remember that hope is in the heart of the optimist. So, someone to look to as you go through a challenging transition, transformation, or have gone through. You could be in your reflection period right now. This could be your time of healing, that you're leaving things better than you found them. Let's see, what number? 4. And Newt was one of the primordial creation deities. The goddess of the sky and celestial bodies, she swallows the setting sun and gives birth to it in the morning. Her immense naked body, covered with stars, is stretched out to form an arch that towers over the whole earth. Her arched position clearly shows her power in the sky and over the celestial objects. Her nakedness represents the purification of the soul. The stars that cover her symbolize the resurrection, the great light that illuminates. Your life is a mysterious journey. You've reached this point, and Newt wants to help you to understand your purpose and your destiny. Press on with confidence because now you know that there will be favorable events on the horizon and you might achieve your desired objectives. Excuse me. So, this card is talking about resurrection. The the death card, transformation, rebirth. So very apropos for whatever the situation is for you. Just reading it again really quickly. So, swallowing the sun and giving birth to it in the morning. That could be maybe a former goal or a goal that needs adjustment. She taking in the sun, digesting it, spitting it back out. And the sun is here on the reverse temperance. So maybe something is out of balance, particularly here on the ego side, referencing, I think of, the sun as the ego, moon as the shadow. And let's get one more card out on the edges here. Maybe I get just a little bit more clarity as to what this transformation is about. Is the energy so heavy? Compassion, transformation, balance, change, hope. Big stuff. Maybe you're a Scorpio? And Scorpios have such, from the readings I've seen out on TarotTube, such ethereal, mysterious energy. Very cool. And another major arcana, the Empress here. And this is Isis in her celestial form. So the crown is different. Like typically you'd see it looks like a chair, her other crown, but you can see the moon she's sitting on. Very fitting for the shadow side here as well. So coming into your hidden self, the self that you've been hiding, very, very interesting. Yeah. Keep her covered up here with my Anubis coin. Potentially that's what is coming to the surface, is the hidden self, because she's uncovered in this picture, and maybe that's what you need to do as well, literally, metaphorically, however that resonates in your life, and appropriately as well. Mind your local bylaws. I know it's remarkably unfair the way those laws are enforced against women as opposed to men, but keep yourself safe, protected. I'm not giving you legal advice. You could do something that makes you feel like you. something a little cleansing in the, cleanse that outer shell. And that can be very, very literal because it is Sunday. So it's my self-care Sunday. Um, or I like to do I like to deep condition my hair. I like to do face masks. But one of the most important parts, um, I have right now I'm using a salt scrub that has some rose quartz like crushed up in it. But that's really nice to have that deep clean, that deep scrub, the deep condition, and just starting the week fresh. And I love putting those sheet masks in the fridge while I'm in the shower, and letting them cool down. And then after I've taken a super hot shower, I like to call them lava showers. Great to cook the back, loosen up the muscles. Uh, Shower bombs are an awesome addition to those as well. But then stepping out of the shower with those sheet masks or the little under eye patches as well, it's so nice and cool after pulling them out of the fridge. Oh, it's great. Close the pores back up. Good stuff. So let's see one more on the right. So how the external self is presenting. So maybe the persona or what the external situation is. And this heavy, heavy energy. So I would encourage you to check out your Libra, Scorpio, and Black Moon Lilith placements. A lot of random calculators out there on the interwebs that you can check out your birth chart on. Woo. So that came out sideways, so I'm going to look at that in motion, and I see the 0, so that's the Fool. So, a brand new journey. So I think this is change of the past, that you are now in the healing stage, that we're trying to move beyond into the new start. And the new start is not guaranteed. I think that's a really important thing to mention here, that you can be your own worst enemy and get in your own way because we have free will. You can stop this. I'm going to go out on a limb and say don't stop this change, whatever it is. Don't stop this healing. It might be scary because there's lightning and destruction and people falling. Move away from that. Whatever caused this to occur, leave it behind. Let it go the way of Scorpio, go the way of Hades, and heal what you need to heal. It drives me crazy when people are like, you gotta move on. Move forward. These things will continue to live in your heart. They take as long as they take to heal, to even put on the shelf. Healing's not linear. It's very, very circular. And it can be squiggly and weirdness, like an elevator, or escalator is what I meant, or elevator. Whatever floats your boat. It doesn't. You don't need to be done healing to move on. Sometimes things just need to be put on the shelf temporarily, forever. Hopefully not forever, because I would encourage you to process rather than repress. Uh, Living with post-traumatic stress disorder and complex trauma, take all the time you need. Whoever, if people got opinions about the way that you're healing, how you're approaching your wounds, they're not feeling your pain. It's up to you to do what you need to do. And do you really value those opinions? Are these opinions blocking the energy of moving forward? Are these opinions crocodiles in the water that are getting in your way? They could be. They've been that for me, for sure. That I took other people's approaches to my pain, and that was not the way. So, something to think about. Let's get, let's see. What am I feeling? Hmm. Yeah, we'll get some dye. We'll get a rune, some self care, and we'll get you out of here. So we'll start with a rune. Be inclusive to the Nordic gods. I like the runes, uh, just because it adds another layer. A cool thing to do as well, something to look into if you're interested. Bind runes as well, combining runes as to how they pertain to your situation, to what you need. Um, but they're symbols of power. Just cool stuff, and the rune poems as well. Beautiful, beautiful. Ooh, is this the blank one? Oh no. I thought that was going to be chaos energy, creation energy. So I think that's Menaz. Menaz. That might be wrong. I might be wrong. Let's see. Oh no, I was right. Menaz. Translation: man, mankind, human. Keywords: humanity, the self, support, assistance, intelligence, and family. So the magical uses of this: help or cooperations from others, increase mental agility, improve memory, promote harmonious relationships, success in legal and academic issues. And it came out reversed. So energy that is blocked, so much like the the center here, the self. Let's see. So in the reverse position, Manaz can be pointing to isolation, low self-esteem, and or self-preoccupation. You may be out of alignment with your inner self and needing some downtime away from others in order to tune back in. Or you might be feeling like an outcast over a particular social conflict. Take some time to honestly examine the role you've played in the issue and prepare to make any necessary amends once the situation cools a bit. Manaz reversed may also indicate that you are not likely to receive assistance from anyone else just now, or even experiencing interference from others regarding a, a goal you're working towards. If so, self reliance and unconventional approaches are useful at this time. So that's what we were talking about just a moment ago, in that, are you taking the advice of others for your own wounds, for your own pain, for something only you truly understand? That could be it. And, out of touch with the authentic self, with the true self, destructive change will come in and course correct for you, whether you like it or not. That may not feel like a gift, but it is. So let's grab some dye. And I think for the keywords, it said man, mankind. Don't let those genders sway you. Human, humankind. Everybody's welcome here. I need this one. Let's see. But that little moment of excitement where I thought it was the blank rune. So the blank rune means nothing. That's just like an extra rock that they included in the set. Not entirely sure why. I guess it's probably like the extra little joker cards and stuff that you get in playing cards. But I like to assign that meaning, um, and a very Egyptian meaning as well, like the primordial waters of chaos, which are creation. So it's limitless potential. Just my take. Most people disregard the blank one. Pisces. So maybe you're a Pisces. Something important about your 12th house placement could be it. And since it's Pisces, we're going towards a new goal. Maybe Delulu is the Solulu, within reason, which is contradictory. And immediately, the first thing that came to mind was Obi-Wan at the end of episode 3, where he says only a Sith deals in absolutes, which is an absolute. So, mind that Piscean duality. You might be contradicting yourself. Ooh, that's coming up on the sun. Okay. So sun is in Libra right now, and soon will be in Scorpio on 22nd, I think, 22nd. But some emphasis on the ego. And first house, which is Aries. So emphasis on the ego. So check out your first house placements. Maybe that's important to this message as well. Maybe that's where this transformation is happening, where it's coming from, something like that. So we'll get you a self-care surprise for this self-care Sunday. Then I'll set you free. Whoop. Oh, is this a sleep token song? Yes. Take Me Back to Eden. Wonderful, wonderful song. Highly recommend the music video. Really, really cool figure there in the middle. Very, very death like with the scythe. I will gush and gush and gush about Sleep Token forevermore. Their lyrics are beautiful. The voice is heavenly, and hopefully there is something here in the lyrics for you that, you know, maybe you're trying to find some kind of peace through whatever this change transformation is that you're going through, have gone through, are about to go through, wherever this falls in the timeline for you, because we're all on our own paths. And don't lose your future by chasing your past. I hope this helps. I hope this resonates. And if it doesn't, I hope the next one does. Thank you so much.